Hare Krishna to all the participants of the Gita class of ISKCON Vrindavan. First of all, I want to offer my obeisances to our worshipful Lord Sri Krishna Balaram, Sri Nitai Gaur Sundar, Sri Radha Sam Sundar Lalita Vishakha, and Srila Prabhupada. By their blessings and by their mercy, we can discuss today Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 5, text 29. Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Santimicchati. Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Santimicchati. Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Santimicchati. So this is the concluding verse of chapter 5. Synonyms: Bhaktaram, the beneficiary; Jagya, of sacrifices; Tapasam, and penances and austerities; Sarvaloka, of all planets and the demigods thereof; Maheshwaram, the Supreme Lord; Suhridam, the benefactor; Sarva, of all; Bhutanam, the living entities; Gyatva, thus knowing; Mang, me, Lord Krishna; Shantim, relief from material pangs; Richati, one achieves. Translation: a person in full Krishna consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Purport: the conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world, but they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary in all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because He is the proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than He. He is greater than the greatest of the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In Vedas, Svetaswatar Upanishad 6.7, the Supreme Lord is described as Tam Ishwaranam Pranamam Maheswaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey, but actually they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. Only in this fifth chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness. This fifth chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as to how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered herewith. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as the predominator. Such work is not different from transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga is a path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Absolute, and the perfection of this consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure soul is the eternal servant of God, as he is fragmental part and parcel. He comes into contact with Maya, illusion, due to the desire to lord it over Maya, and that is the cause of his many sufferings. As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute work in terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one into spiritual life even while one is within the jurisdiction of matter. It is an arousing of spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial toward anyone. Everything depends on one's everything everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one control the senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above mentioned passions, remains factually in the transcendental stage or Brahma Nirvana. The Eightfold Yoga system is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is a gradual process of elevation in the practice of jama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. But these only preface perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being. It is the highest perfection of life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, as Prabhupada mentioned, that this fifth chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, which is generally known as Karma Yoga. So we human beings in this material world and in this material body and material sensation, material intelligence, and with material knowledge cannot but live without doing any work. You have to do some activities. That's why Lord so kindly given us karmendriya and karma adhikar. Karmana adhikar astu. So Lord has kindly given us the karma adhikar and karmendriya and karma khetra and all these facilities. But how to get liberation within these clutches of this material banks? All the karma yoga from in the karma yoga totally merged in material consciousness. If you can dovetail and practice Krishna consciousness even within this material consciousness, so it depends upon as we are doing advancement. So in this chapter, the karma yoga actually Krishna started karma yoga from third chapter, and then fourth chapter also, and how to do karma, what is the tattva, and in fifth chapter, in the concluding karma yoga, in the karma yoga, actually in the beginning, karma is pradhana and jnana is secondary. In the beginning of karma yoga, karma is primary, jnana is secondary. And in the ultimate position at the end, yes, at the end, jnana is primary, karma will be secondary. Jnana will be primary. So, all these karma yogis, they have to finally take help of bhakti, and by the mercy of bhakti only, they can achieve their desired goal. Even the jnana yogis, the jnani, here Krishna is in the beginning saying, Bhoktaram Jagya Tapasam. The karmis, they want to do bhoga. That's why they want to do many jagyas, sacrifices. That is the requirement of karmis. Big jagya, they want swarga, sukha, bhoga and all that. So, but they don't know that they are not the bhokta. They cannot be bhokta. Bhokta is only Krishna. That is the mistake. What the mistake of this human being? Even devatas, they cannot understand this. You know, in this Vrindavan, when Krishna was there, at that time even, what to speak of other devata, Devaraj, Indra, Swayam, he was thinking that he is the bhakta. And all the Brajavasis, they are so simple. So they were doing Jagya, Indra Jagya, and considering Indra is bhakta. So they are doing Indra Jagya. And but we know that how Lord gave proper understanding to Indra. Then Indra come to senses, oh, I am not the bhakta. Really Jagyam Bhakta, Jagyaswara is Krishna, not me. So he got the lesson. So what to speak of us? Even the demigods and the king of the demigod, he is also bewildered. So whatever past activities, what we are doing, good things, always we are thinking we are the bhokta of the past, the result of the past activities, and the means through which we are doing these past activities, like our body, mind, and senses. And this is, we are thinking this is mine. So all sorts of jagyas, the karmis they are doing, they are bewildered. They don't know that it's only should be meant for Krishna. Nobody can be bhakta. Jagya, tapasam, jnanis, they will do tapasya. The jnanis, they want to do tapasya. Varieties of tapasya, very austere there. But they don't know what is the result of tapasya. Tapasa tata kim? Hmm. नाराधितो जदि हरि तपसा तत किम आराधितो जदि हरि तपसा तत किम. Today is Karwa Chauth, so many Indian traditional women, married women, they are keeping strict vow, not even take water. What speak of water? They will let spit inside also. Hmm. Strict fasting. Hmm. For what? They know for what. Are Baba, what is the result of tapasya? Here Krishna is very clearly declaring, I am the Bhakta of tapasya. Bhaktaram Jagat Tapasam. I am the Ishwar, I am the owner of tapasya. I am the maintainer. I am the yes. Bhaktaram Jagat Tapasam. All the tapasya should be done only to please Krishna. All the yajna should be performed to please Krishna. This is the process. But what to do? Even so-called devotees also, they are doing that. Muktaram Jagyatapasam. So all the tapasya in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told there are three kind of tapasya: through body, through mind, and through words. Kaya, mana, vakya. And all the tapasya he explained how we should do perform tapasya, for what and how, everything. But people, even knowing that, studying that, they can do that because some orthodox thinking are there. So, but Bhaktaram Jagna Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So, but the Jagya and Tapasya, they are so essential for human being. We can't stop it. Jagyartham karmananyatra lokayam karmandhana. Krishna clearly told that all the people should work for Jagya, should work for sacrifice. Jagyanam karma anyatra lokabandhana. Otherwise you will get bondage. Karmandhana. So you have to always perform the work as sacrifice to Lord. Jagya. And tapasya. This tapasya and jagya, they are very, very essential. Every human being, they have to do it. That's for sure. But we should know why we are doing, what is the purpose of this jagya and tapasya. What is the purpose? Who is the real bhakta of this yajna and tapasya? Who is to be pleased by this yajna? Who is to be pleased by this tapasya? Or why you are doing? We should know this. Muktaram Jagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Not only that, Krishna is telling that he is Sarvaloka Maheswara. That whatever innumerable planets are there, Krishna is the ultimate authority, the supreme authority of all these planets, including them, also including everybody. Everybody. He is the Mahan Maheswara, Mahaniyanta, Phaladata, protector, maintainer, giver, everything, all the Jagya and Tapasya. Each Alina. And the main important thing here is saying, if somebody knows this, Shanti Mikshati, Prabhupada starts his purport that the conditioned souls within the clutches of illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the world. Everybody wants to have peace of mind. But they don't know what is the process, how to get it. So here the peace formula is given. 3 things you have to know. If somebody know these 3 things, then he'll achieve real peace. What is the 3 things? That Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. He is Bhokta of everything. Jagya, tapasya, whatever. He is the Bhokta. Except Krishna, none else are Bhokta. We should know this very perfectly. The Krishna is the Bhokta of all Jagya, tapasya, and everything. He is the ultimate authority, is the ultimate benefactor. And this is first thing we have to know, that Krishna is ultimate enjoyer. He is the Bhokta. And the second thing we have to know, to attain peace, that he is the proprietor of not only me and mine, whatever we know, Sarva Loka Maheswaram, all the planets and all the so-called Ishwaras, all are his subordinates. He is the final authority. He is the Mahan Ishwar, Mahaniyanta, supreme controller, supreme enjoyer. We should know that he is supreme enjoyer and the supreme controller and supreme proprietor. And the third thing we have to know, that even if he is supreme enjoyer, even he is supreme controller and supreme proprietor, ultimate authority, but still he is the best friend, best beneficiary. Suhridam Sarvabhutam, of all, not mine, of everybody, is the best friend of each and every entity. He is the best friend. Suhridam. Suhridam means we have friends, they're so-called friends. Those are only becoming friend when they're getting some benefits. They have some selfish desire to fulfill that, they're becoming friend. When they cannot do that, they will not become friend. But Krishna is really selfless friend, and is not only friend from outwards, some taking and giving like that, depending on that. No, that's a Suhridam. He is inside our heart and always our well-wisher. Always trying to help us and always remain as our ultimate well-wisher. Nobody can, there is no comparison. There is no comparison. Yes. Without, see, Lord is from time and immemorial, he is helping all these living entities, even some entities, those who are doing anti-preaching of Krishna, not accepting Krishna and abusing Krishna, still Krishna is maintaining them. Yes, because they are also, he is their Suhrut too. You are Suhrut of Kansa also. You are Suhrut of all Asuras. Yes. Who is Suhrut of all those who are not accepting Krishna as authority, he also is Suhrut. Yes. These foolish, they may not understand it, but Krishna, he says, he is mine. He become fool, what to do? All are his son only. All are his creation only. So he is Suhridam, really selfless well-wisher, eternal, ultimate well-wisher. If we know these 3 things, then definitely we will become peaceful. So now we will see how come we will definitely peaceful? Because we are not becoming peace, we are not getting peace because we are trying to enjoy. We have some agenda to enjoy. Yes, we want to become happy by enjoying. Are Baba, how enjoy? Because we are thinking me and mine. This is me and all things are mine. This is my wife, this is my children, this is my house, this is my wealth, this is my property, this is mine, and this is me. So this me and mine, when we are thinking like this, then we want to get some pleasure out of it. We want to use it and get pleasure out of it. So this desire to get pleasure from these kind of things, this is wrong, because nothing is ours. Falsely we are thinking this is me and this is mine. This is not me and this is not mine too. Why this is not me? Here, Baba, you are also his. Jivera Sarup hai Krishnera Nitya Das. You are eternal servant of Krishna. You, the word me, is also his eternal servant. And whatever belongs to you as mine, this also belongs to Krishna. Nothing is ours. Nothing belongs to us. If we very clearly understand this, and then if nothing belongs to us, then whose? Everything belongs to Krishna. This me, this mine, this he, then his, this you, and this yours is all false. Nothing is me, mine, he, his, you, yours. These three things finish. Only one thing, Krishna and Krishna's. That's it. Nothing belongs to anybody. Anybody is not owner. Anybody cannot be owner. It is not possible. And if nothing belongs to nobody, then how they want to be happy out using it? No. It is not mine, Baba. How can I use it? It is not mine. So this is very simple thing. We have to take this wrong idea, this wrong feeling that is me and mine, and as long as we consider like this, we can't become happy. We can't get peace. So how to get it out? Now if you accept Krishna is the owner, I am not the owner. Nobody is owner in this whole world. Nobody. Everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the owner. He is the ultimate authority. So, and that's why he is the enjoyer. But everybody belongs to him. When we are also to be enjoyed. We are not enjoyed. We is supposed to be enjoyed by him. Yes. We are supposed to be enjoyed by him. That's why. So first thing you have to understand like this. So that is, you have wrong conception always in this material world. Yes, while we are in this material world and this material body, we have to do something. But in this proper understanding that yes, whatever we are doing, is the servant of Krishna, and whoever connected with me, they are also servants of Krishna. And this is my duty, that I should accept my quota fixed by Krishna, and I would serve according to his desire, take care of all the so-called wife, children, and the so-called whatever job I have, that is also assigned by Krishna. So as a servant of Krishna, I should do it. This is the in this consciousness, we should always keep Krishna in center, and always think and do accordingly. This is called Krishna consciousness. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. This 5th chapter is the practical explanation of Krishna consciousness. Then we have to work. We have to do some activity. So all this work and activities, what you are doing, it should be centered around Krishna. Krishna should be in the center. So always you should think whatever materials, whatever thing, any matter, any person, Vyakti or Vastu, whatever, any person or any thing, any matter, is all belongs to Krishna. I think it's only belongs to Krishna, and it should be used for Krishna only. Should be used for Krishna. That is Bhaktaram means Krishna is Bhakta. You may do Jagya should be pleasing for Krishna. You may do Tapasya should be for the pleasure of Krishna. You want to do any passion, that should be for the pleasure of Krishna. You want to do anything, whatever you want to do, whatever. You want to do dhyana, it should be dhyana of Krishna. You want to do some yoga, it should be for Krishna. Everything. You want to eat, yes, eat Krishna prasadam. For the pleasure of Krishna. Why? Now you will get, by eating, you will get some strength. By that you will serve Krishna. That's why you are eating. Baba, you need rest. Yes, you need rest to maintain this body because you want to serve Krishna. Everything should be related to Krishna. Center of Krishna. So Krishna is Bhokta, and everybody should be used as in his service as his servant. That is called Bhokta. Then we can understand he is the Bhokta and all are, he is the supreme enjoyer, and everything should be enjoyed by him, and all this enjoying material should be used as in this proper way. All this yajna, tapasya, everything. He is the one. This is first thing to understand. Then second thing, if we will think that nothing belongs to us, Krishna is the owner and controller. So how will think? Then second thing is Sarvaloka Maheswaram. That in a Bhoktaram, in this first understanding, that we will never ever expect any selfish desire or any desire to even desire to become happy or desire to achieve something. Nothing. You cannot desire. You don't deserve to be desire. Only desire you can do to serve Krishna. Yes, that should be the only desire. Our desire should be only how I can serve Krishna with all these things. Whatever is around me, how I can use all these things in the service of Krishna, even if my body, mind, and words, and whatever around me. How can? So that is if considered Krishna. So then, why we engage to Krishna? Because Krishna is the Maheswara, he is the Ishvara. That's why. He is the owner. That's why. We are not, he is the enjoyer, he is the owner, he is the authority. And that's why, Are Baba, he is the authority maybe of this. No. Whatever you think, whatever you know, everything is Krishna's. Krishna is the owner. Sarva Loka Maheswaram. Even the great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, Varuna, Chandra, everybody, they are servants of Krishna. Krishna is the Maha Maheswara, Sarva Loka Maheswara. Whichever planet, maybe you say, maybe because of in Vrindavan, that's your thinking, if I go to Delhi. No. You may go whatever, wherever you go, in whatever planets are there in the creation, in the universe. Krishna is the owner. He is Sarva Loka Maheswara, Mahan Ishvara, Maha Maheswara. Everything, every person, every planet, every post, everything. Then there is no question why. No. He is the owner, and everything, including us, should be engaged for him. Are Baba, then what about us? We want to become happy, we want to enjoy something. Are Baba, why you are crying? If you enjoy everything, even you yourself, your body, mind, words to enjoy Krishna, then Krishna is the supreme well-wisher, a friend of yours. He is always thinking of you. He will give you supreme bliss. He will give you happiness. You will get proper peace and happiness because he is your well-wisher. He is your friend. He knows what you want. He will give you. He is Suhridam. So these things, then we will be careless. Then we will be tension-free. Then we don't have any Soka, Moha, or Bhaya. Yes. Then we will Kamana. If we are not the enjoyer, then we should be desire-free. Then we don't have any desire. We Lobha, Kama will finish. Sarvalok Maheswar, then free from ownership. Then, Moha is finished. And he is Suhridam. Then no Bhaya. He is with me. As my best friend, best listener is always with me. Then he should feel less. Forget everything. He is with me. He is my caretaker. He is my well-wisher. He is my protector. He is my maintainer. Then why you are taking tension? He is there. Actually, he is doing. He should do. Actually, whatever you should accept it. So, these three things that um, he is my protector, and he is the maintainer, and he is the owner, and he is the enjoyer. Nothing belongs to us. Even myself is not mine, and that's why we should not desire for anything. Only desire to fulfill the desire of Krishna. Only desire. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj, when he Nrsimhadev asked to ask benediction, he asked, "Oh my Lord, if you are presuming to ask for benediction, so I am asking, please give me that I should become free from all desires. I should not have any desires." See, this is the mentality of devotee. They don't have any other desire. No, only desire how to please Lord, and how to please Lord. He knows how to please Lord. He knows that, oh, Nrsimhadev, okay, come with me. No, how can I go? How can I go with you? I have these so many people are suffering. How can I go alone? So this is, if somebody like that, they will become so padukha katara. He'll become. So this is the thinking of the devotee. Svavimukti kama. Vijane Svavimukti kama. So then this is the Santi formula. If we know these three things, if you know these three things, that Lord is Parama Bhakta of everything, even in Yajna Tapasya, and Lord is Mahamaheswara, Sarvaloka Maheswara, and Lord is Paramaswarupa. These three things, if we accept these three things and we try to practice all our activities in this consciousness, then that is proper Krishna consciousness. And definitely we will get proper peace. Gyan Tamas. Here not saying act accordingly, then you will get peace. No, Krishna is saying Gyata. If you just know, by knowing this, you will do all your activities and forget doing. Forget doing. Just by knowing, you will become peaceful. By knowing. What? Knowing Gyatva, not Kritva. Kritva means you do, then you will get. No, not Kritva. Not Anubhava. If you realize, then you will. No realization required. No doing required. Just knowing required. Gyatva. If you know, then you will become what? If you do, then what to speak of? If you realize, then what to speak? Just by knowing, you will get peace. Just by knowing what? Krishna is the supreme bhakta of all Chakya and Tapasya. Actually, Krishna told that Bhaktaham Jagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheswaram. It is in 9th chapter also that Aham hi sarvajya jnanam bhakta cha prabhurevacha. That's one. Aham hi sarvajya jnanam bhakta cha prabhurevacha. That I am the bhakta and prabhu of sarvajya jnanam, but tyakta javantite. But people, they don't know, so that's why they are falling down. They don't know. So that's they don't know. That's why the problem. If somebody knows, then that's it. That's 9. I think 9:24. 9:24. Krishna is telling, yes. Aham hi sarvajnanam bhakta cha prabhurevacha cha natumam abhijananti tyanata savantite. They don't know, so that's why they are suffering. They don't know. that I am the Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam. All I am the Bhakta of all Jagya and Tapasya. And Aham hi Sarva Jagyanam Bhakta cha Prabhureva cha. I am the Prabhu and I am the Bhakta of Sarva Jagya. That they don't know. People don't know that. That's why we are suffering. If we just know that, no, all these, so many kinds of Jagya, this Jagya, that Jagya, many Jagyas we are doing. And 4th chapter of Gita, there are so many Jagyas are there. So you should know what is the real Jagya. Now in Kali Yuga, forget, neither we are getting good ghee, nor good Brahman, nor proper mantra, nothing we can do in Jagya properly. The only Jagya for this Yuga is prescribed by Shastra and prescribed by the Supreme Lord even. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. The Sankirtana Jagya. Kalu Sankirtane Prayayanti hi Sumedasaha. This is the Jagya of Kali Yuga. And every Yuga also. It's because other Yuga there is some substitute, this alternative was there, but in the Kali Yuga nothing is there, no alternative. The only available Jagya, the only possible Jagya is Sankirtana Jagya. You can do Nama Sankirtana, you can do Guna Sankirtana, the Sankirtana Jagya in this Kali Yuga. And Tapasya, in Kali Yuga, if you do Ekadashi fasting, that's also big Tapasya. If Kali Yuga, if you rise up early in morning, that's also big Tapasya. If Kali Yuga, if you offer obeisance to the Supreme Person, all your elders, if you offer your obeisance, that is also Tapasya. If you just become loyal and do your duty, that's also Tapasya. Everybody is cheater in this Kali Yuga. So, simple Tapasya. Krishna has explained about Tapasya. But how you can do Sarik Tapasya, Manasik Tapasya, and Vachasik Tapasya. Explain. So, and finally, Naradhito Jadi Hari Tapasa Tataki. What is the use of that Tapasya if Hari is not Aradhan? Hari not pleased. And if Hari is pleased, then why you are doing Tapasya? That's Naradhito Jadi Hari Tapasa Tatakim. Why you are doing Tapasya if Hari is not Aradhita? If Hari Aradhana not happened, then what is the use of the Tapasya? Useless. And then it's Aradhito Jadi Hari Tapasa Tatakim. If you are pleasing Hari, then why you are doing Tapasya? What is the use of that? It's useless. Because this is the ultimate goal, to please Lord Hari. If that is there, then no, why you are wasting time for Tapasya and all that? Because all the aim of Tapasya, all aim of Jagya is to please Hari, that's it. Jasmin Vigyate Samamegam Vigyata Bhavanti, Jasmin Prasanne Samamegam Prasanne. So, if we just know that, if we just give his Sarvaloka Maheswaram, see, if he is Sarvaloka Maheswara, then if will just only satisfy Vishnu or Krishna, then everybody will be satisfied. Everybody. Just like if you water in the root of the tree, then the whole section of the tree will be watered. Similarly, if you just please Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya, Jagat Hitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya. If you do Hita of Govinda or Krishna, then Jagat Hit will happen. Go Hit, Brahmana Hit, everybody will become happy. Everybody will become happy if you work for Krishna. Make Krishna happy, then everybody will become happy. Because he is Jagadadhara. He is the root of the whole universe and every entities. He is the root of all entities. So this is the formula. But people that foolish people, they don't know. They are doing many ways, this that, but it's not proper. Sarvadeva Namaskaram Vasudeva Pratigachati. They don't know. We cannot perform any tapasya, we cannot perform pranam even to anybody, because everything will go ultimately to, nobody can accept anything except Krishna. Sarvadeva namaskaram kesavam prati gacchati. He may offer your pranam to these and they are there, but nobody can accept it. He has to go directly and direct to Krishna, because he is the final authority where everything will go. If you know that, then why will waste his time, Baba? If it's for only for that, then I will go there. Yes. So, so that's why it is just by knowing this, even what to speak of people in this world, even the demigods, they don't know that. They don't know that this is the perfect knowledge. And the perfect knowledge and perfect formula to get peace, that Krishna is the enjoyer, nobody else. Krishna is the supreme owner or authority, and Krishna is the friend of everybody, supreme beneficiary. These three things, even what to speak of this Manusya, even big people, they don't know. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Parijan, they don't know even. They don't know. Krishna is really the Mayapati. We are all Mayadhin. We are all subjected to the stringent rules of Maya. But the real owner of Maya is Krishna. Yes. Krishna boldly declared in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Durattaya. Nobody can conquer it. It is Durattaya. Taibhi Esa Gunamayi. This Gunamayi Maya is my Maya, Mama Maya. Mama Maya, that's why Durattaya. Because nobody can be equal to Krishna. Nobody is there. How to speak of Brahma, Shiva, everybody get bewildered. Everybody get bewildered. Krishna is Krishna. So if you know that, then we will take shelter of Krishna. If somebody know that Krishna is the Param Bhakta, if somebody know Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwara, if somebody know that Krishna is Paramasrut, then he should not waste his time. He's just okay, then they'll take shelter of Krishna and do bhajan of Krishna only. That's it. So that is the knowing. Somebody just know that, then will definitely engage in the worshipping Krishna and doing bhajan of Krishna. Just by knowing this. If you know that this switch is for the pump is running, if you put up then switch pump, then you do that. So if you know that this is the main switch, then if something happens, you will take out the main switch, you will make it off or make it on. So Krishna is the main switch of everything. So then you deal with main switch. How to deal? Now, worship him, Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna, worship to Krishna, offer obeisance to Krishna, and engage your mind, intelligence, whatever, in service of Krishna. That is the ultimate thing. That is the only thing we all have to do. And everything, tidbit is taken care by his Prakriti, by his energy. Three modes of nature is doing. Unnecessarily, foolishly, we are thinking that oh, I am doing, he is doing this, she is doing that. These are bogus things. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can able to do also. Everything is arranged and done by the guidance of Krishna, by the modes of nature. Only then what we should do now? Our only duty is forget everything. Just one word attention, how to engage in Krishna's service and how to fulfill his desire and to please him. And the various ways. If you accept Krishna as authority, then who is Krishna's man? Then he is also ours. We should serve him. Krishna declared that okay, you foolish people, you can directly serve me. So you can be happy and I will accept your service fully if you serve my devotee. That's it. And so you should find out a devotee of Krishna and serve him. So that is the goal of life. That's it. Mad Bhakta Puja Adhika. That's it. I am happy. Because he is the supreme enjoyer. And we should know that. By knowing that, immediately we should, if you are, then who is belongs to you, then I will say yes. Just like if you want to make happy the boss of the a big company, they want to get his favor, then you can get. So, but he is such a big man. How can you approach him? So forget this big man is such a rich man. So if you just approach his grandson by taking a 1 or 2 rupees chocolate or something like that. So if you do like that, some days, then he saw that my grandson is so attached to him. Then that's it. You get the favor immediately. You get the favor. So that is the formula. If you know this, if you know that Krishna is the owner, enjoyer, and supreme and the best well-wisher, then you will not. Nobody will waste their time here and there. They will just concentrate everything for the worship and for the bhajan of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, and by that we will get real peace and real happiness. That is our supreme achievement. Santi Mechiti. So that's what finally he said, all these jnanis, all these karmis, all these yogis, okay, they can do like that, but ultimate is that the supreme, best and easiest way, Arjun, forget all this karma, this chakras, forget, just try to know, try to understand these 3 things. Then everything will be sorted out. It's very easy. What? That not I am the ultimate authority, I am the ultimate enjoyer, and I am the best friend of yours. That's it. Then you will be engaged in my service. That's it. Very simple. So Krishna, at the end of 5th chapter, he simplifies all this karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, culminates in bhakti yoga. Very simple thing. Bhakti yoga then means we should know that Krishna is all in all. Everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is authority, and our only duty is to serve. Worship him. That's what Krishna told. Manmana bhava, mad bhakta bhava, mad yaji mad namaskuru. That's it. That's what he wants. That's what we have to do. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comments? Or everybody get their peace of mind by knowing this?
Okay, we have a question on the chat from Poonam Natu. Sometimes in the family, one is bound to follow certain rituals. In this case, if inwardly we pray to Krishna and outwardly we do tapasya to satisfy materialists, is it wrong practice?
Again, the question I miss it.
Okay. So sometimes in the family, one is bound to follow certain rituals.
Yeah.
So in this case, if we inwardly pray to Krishna and outwardly do the tapasya to satisfy the materialists, is it a wrong practice?
Krishna will laugh. Why you are playing with Krishna? Doing outward something and inward something. Yes, we can do that. There's nothing wrong in it. But if it is not possible that you cannot avoid it, you have to do it. It's compulsory. The family members, everybody is forcing you have to do it. Then you have to do it. Otherwise, if nothing like that, then best is to please Krishna. That is tapasya. That is yajna. That is your goal. Then everything will fulfill by that. We don't have to do any other things except pleasing Krishna. No other so-called tapasya, these, they are nothing. And if in our family somebody is protesting, no, you can't do that, you know, you have to do this, the problem is there, then external internal things will happen. Okay, internally you do something and externally please them. Then it is required. but nothing is there. Clear cut line is there. You can do that very nicely. Krishna knows that openly you can do for Krishna, but you have some misconception. No. How can I do that? Only I please Krishna, then this thing will not happen. So that means some knowing is different. You don't know something. You have to know more. That is it. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. I have one question.
Yes.
At the end of this chapter, Krishna is showing that devotional service is higher than yoga. So
Yeah, of
why
course.
does he go on in chapter 6 to describe yoga?
You got to clear it, because in the final point he told. So then Krishna, some Arjuna will have doubt. How come it? So then he vividly describe this yoga. Okay, this is the yoga. You understand what is yoga? Then again he said, because he told that he sees devotional service is the topmost of karma and jnana, even yogas. How come yoga? So then, okay, how come yoga? Then I am explaining about yoga also. Then he started explaining yoga, and in conclusion of yoga also. He will also tell.
Thank you,
Yes.
Maharaj. Very good. Okay, does anyone else have anything to add? Question or comment? Look like everyone else is
Okay.
okay. Thank you, Maharaj.